How do you feel about watermelons as a fruit?
How do I feel as a fruit? I don't like watermelons, mainly because of texture over taste.
Do you like watermelon flavoured things?
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting onto. Watermelon Mentos, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the rainbow Mento packets are beyond belief nice. They are delicious. They are some of my favorite. And in Italy, you get a bag of Mentos that's all the watermelon flavour. And possibly the nicest thing I've ever eaten. The food capital of the world, Italy. Yeah. Because they have watermelon Mentos.
I think I've been fooling myself into thinking that I like the fruit. But now that I'm actually introspecting on it, I really don't.
Because it appears healthy. It's like, oh, it's got water and melon.
I know. Harry Styles would be disappointed. That also song doesn't make any sense. Because watermelons
sugar.
Don't really...
I thought it was about oral sex.
Oh, I mean, it is, but watermelons don't give you a sugar high. As far as I'm aware. Like, they're not that sweet, are they?
How much sugar is actually... Well, yeah, I don't really like them, so I can't say I eat them an awful lot.
Sugar content of a watermelon. 6 grams per 100 grams. So it's like 6% sugar.
Is that a lot?
I don't know.
That seems like a lot. 6% sugar.
A strawberry's only 5% sugar. So they're actually sugarier than...
Yes.
A bit an orange.
Yeah, so that seems... Yeah, that's quite sugary then.
Oranges are 9 grams.
What's the sugar content of sugar?
Sugar, like, maybe made of, like, something other than sugar. Like, it's like 99% sugar, 1%, like, beetle poo or something.
Hello, Words Without Wisdom listeners, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Words Without Wisdom podcast, the podcast where we answer the questions that you didn't know you wanted to know the answers to. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Matthew Lyon, and I'm joined by...
Evan Dixon. The first.
Evan Richard Nixon, Cockney rhyming slang version of Evan Dixon.
I am not a crook. No, that was a John F. Kennedy accent, but a Richard Nixon quote.
I did not sleep with that woman.
I did not have sexual
relations. I did not have sex with that woman. Oh, I did it wrong. Every time I do it wrong. I can't. I'm rubbish at quotes.
Do this Bill Clinton impression.
No, all quotes. I'm so bad at quotes. Like I'll try and say like a quote, like one of the Helen Keller ones or something. And I always get it wrong by like one word. Like I always say, one of the many Helen Keller quotes that are like the "I'm not dumb anymore," but that's not it, is it? That's not right.
No, it's I am not dumb. No.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it wrong every quote. There's like all these like
increasing in pitch.
I know the general gist of all the quotes that I try and say, but I always get them wrong in the details. It's always the wrong word. It's terrible. It's some weird, very specific flaw that I have apparently.
It's like, is that not a thing? Like, it's like your Achilles heel is, except rather than it being your heel, it's like your ability to recite quotes exactly correctly.
I have heard of calling something an Achilles heel. Yes, I
was trying to think of it myself. I wasn't explaining to you what an Achilles heel was.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were explaining to me what an Achilles heel was.
No.
So this episode comes out, I think, on the 4th of April or something. But we're recording this. It's the 2nd of April because that's just kind of how we do it. Which means yesterday was possibly the worst day of all time in the year, and that was April Fool's Day. I don't know how you feel about April Fool's Day, but I always feel like it's one of those things that I just despise. It's like Valentine's Day. April Fool's Day and Valentine's Day, they are my two least favourite days. Valentine's Day we can do another episode on, like we can do that another time, or I'll direct you to my directed you to my unlisted video.
Mine too.
In fact, I have like 2 unlisted videos on Valentine's Day, I think.
I know, that's just like as like single lonely second years who
like
just were ranting about Valentine's Day. Oh, I mean same.
But April Fool's Day, it's a day that encourages people who aren't funny to attempt jokes. And it usually just ends in things that aren't funny. And of course, a new, more modern fresh, in quotation marks, take on April Fool's Day is, of course, the corporate April Fool's Day, which is when, corporate account social media managers think that it's hilarious if they get in on the act, or just companies generally. I mean, you were telling me a couple of days ago a story, or yesterday, I suppose, a story about the guy with the 90,000 pennies or whatever.
Well, this wasn't anything to do with April Fool's, though. I think he just had a bad employer. I think he just had a really dickish employer.
Oh, I thought this was an April Fool's Day thing. Well, what happened?
Well, I just, I happened to be a guy who quit his job and received his wages back from his employer. I think this was in the States, and received his wages back from his employer, his final paycheck, in the form of a wheelbarrow full of oily pennies. 90,000 oily pennies.
Ugh. That's capitalism in action, folks.
It is, or it's just pettiness in action. Like when pettiness and capitalism intersect, the Venn diagram is a wheelbarrow full of oily pennies.
That's one for your quotes alongside thermal contrast and all the other ones.
But yeah, like you're talking about the like corporatization of April Fool's Day, and I just find it so annoying. Like on Facebook yesterday, I saw that Home Bargains posted something that they were changing their April Fool's thing was that they were changing their name to Home and Bargain, and posted their new logo, which was Home and Bargain. And that would almost be like a bearable April Fool's joke if it was remotely funny, which it isn't.
Yeah, that's the second problem with April Fool's Day, is that
people don't know how to be funny.
Oh yeah, when I say people, and it's not you, it's like generally most people don't know how to be funny, but even some people who sometimes are funny, like the jokes that they can say, like April Fool's Day is not usually about jokes, it's about just lying.
Yeah.
Like April Fool's Day is, rather than coming up with a clever prank or a sort of, it's a fool. You don't have, like, fooling someone doesn't have to just involve lying to them and then going, psych, it wasn't true.
I know.
Like, that's not funny. It's not, like, entertaining or clever.
And then it puts everyone on edge, because when anyone wants to say something serious on April Fool's Day, no one can tell.
And then you seem like a dick, because someone will say something quite serious to you that you should sort of be dealing with, and you're like, ha, good one.
I know, and then it's just a
you seem like a right tosser.
You just get guilt tripped by this corporate bastardization of April Fools, which is
because you just presume that everything is going to be a joke.
April Fool's so prevalent, amongst people on April the 1st.
I mean, it's just, the jokes are just crap, because they're not jokes, they're just lies. It's just like, here's a lie, and then they'll leave you stewing with this lie, and they'll come back to you later and go, oh, by the way, that wasn't true. Haha. Oh yes, I'm cracking up. What? I mean, that's appalling. Not funny in any shape nor form. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on this. You just watch me. We
should just abolish the calendar.
We should abolish like days.
I'm a big believer of addressing the root cause of a problem, and I think that the fact that there is such a date as April the 1st really just is the root cause of this.
Oh right. Oh, you're just going to abolish days altogether. The Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
What would you replace it with?
Or just anarchy.
Just no one knows what day it is, or how to relate, or how to.
Is the calendar that useful?
I mean, if you say, like, my driving lesson is on the 26th of April, it's more useful than saying it's, how many days away is the 26th of April? What is the 2nd of April? So it's 24 squared. That's too much maths. Not doing that.
Well, humans are born with an innate sense of time.
Let's say it's like 4,000 hours away. What? No, it's not 4,000. What? 400? What am I? No, 500. What? 4,000 hours?
The one that does advanced
I don't know what. Oh, I know. I'm on a podcast. This isn't maths time. I didn't come on a podcast to do maths.
I know.
Come on a podcast. It's my podcast. You don't come on a podcast if it's like your podcast.
If you're really kinky, you might come on a podcast, but it's maybe not our kind of podcast.
There was absolutely no requirement for you to say that whatsoever.
I can't help it. I'm such a child. Anytime I hear a word that's just remotely a double entendre, it's like, like come or just a little D.
Just whenever you hear the word come.
Pretty much. It's just like, I have to. My inner 13-year-old cannot resist.
You'd really struggle with my recent dog training. I'm just standing on the spot going, Ribby, come. Ribby, come. Ribby, come. Come on. Ribby, come. Come now. Oh, God, you would be on the floor.
That is disgusting. Anyway, speaking of cum, I think
you said it.
Anyway,
Speaking of cum,
I think
speaking
it's time
of no,
for another
no,
episode
no,
of America's
no
Hottest
one.
Politicians.
This episode of America's Hottest Politicians with Matthew Lyon and Evan Dixon begins with a complete non sequitur about Whoopi Goldberg. So, that's it. Joe Turkel, American character actor.
Yeah, that's him.
No, probably not.
I've moved on from politicians to America's Hottest Character Actors. Next week is Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, I love Whoopi Goldberg. No, so yeah, welcome to America's Hottest Politicians. So you haven't told me who this week is yet. Well, you've hinted, but please now reveal to me and to the audience this week's Hot or Not candidate.
This week's candidate is the senior senator from the great state of South Dakota and has served since 2005. He's also been the Republican whip since 2019 and previously served as South Dakota's at-large member of the United States House of Representatives from 1997 until 2003. He is a member of the Republican Party and his name is John Thune. John Thune.
John Thune, by the way, terrible name. Awful. Appalling.
Thune?
John Thune.
Thune.
It's like Typhoon. Typhoon. John Thune. Are you seeing this on his Wikipedia page? Next to Thune, it says Thune with two O's.
It's like, when can you meet me? Oh, I'll meet you Thune. If you have a lisp.
Oh, I'm away to meet Thune. When are you going to meet him? Oh, Thune.
We will meet Thune, my love. That would completely put me off someone.
Yes, because you're very picky, aren't you?
Is that sarcasm, Matthew?
Oh, never. I would never do sarcasm.
Never.
You know me.
I know you.
I'm not sarcastic.
Not at all. Sarcasm nestled within sarcasm. Love it. This the self-referentiality
that makes Words Without Wisdom. Yeah,
makes Words Without Wisdom what it is. Anyway, so yes, John Thune is our candidate.
So I'm looking at a picture of John Thune here, and suffice it to say, definitely one of the most Republican-looking candidates yet. And honestly, though, the most average sort of like middle American looking. I mean, he's from South Dakota, so he's,
I don't know.
yeah,
I think he's a very
South Dakota
conventionally attractive
considered
man.
Middle America?
Midwest.
Yeah, that's middle. I don't even know what Middle America is. I just imagine
the middle of America.
Bog standard. Yeah, but nobody lives there, so like it can't actually be the middle.
The geographic centre of area is actually in South Dakota, so he is middle
Wow,
American.
there you go. I told you. I told
definition.
you. I absolutely said it with words, without much wisdom.
Without much wisdom.
So yeah, I get it. He's pretty conventionally for an old man. He's quite conventionally.
Man. He's not an old man at all.
He is an
60.
old man. That's an old man. It's an old man.
Not.
That's an old man. That is an old man. I
disagree strongly. But,
what?
You know,
yeah, but that's because you are averaging like 80 years old at this point.
So let's have a rundown at the statistics.
Oh yes, always this. I love the statistics.
No one says that.
I love the statistics. Please bring me the statistics.
I'm going to do that again. So let's run through the statistics.
Oh, I love this. Oh, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing it. Oh god. Oh,
let's
we're
run
gonna
through the
fail
statistics.
after episode 5. It's gonna flop. This is going to be the most chaotic episode.
This is going to be the most viewed episode. It's going to like.
This is going to be your Easter Sunday listening episode. It's two men just cracking and destroying their entire professional careers right in front of your eyes.
Celebrate the resurrection in style. Let's run through the statistics, shall we? So
please do. Please.
Senator Thune gets a 0.8 for ideology. Ideology? I've never said it like that before. Ideology.
Ideology?
I don't know. Which puts him he scores 3 for the policy criterion.
3 for policy.
6 for charm. And 9 out of 10 for looks.
9 out of 10.
No one's hit the ceiling yet, but he's pretty darn close.
9 out of 10. Now, remind me, Bill Nelson also achieved a 9. Am I correct?
No. Bill Nelson achieved a 7.
7?
A 7. Josh
Only
Hawley
a 7 on
9.
looks. Oh, this is so more attractive than Bill Nelson. Or are we getting on if we go to the aesthetic hotness percentage?
Yeah, so this brings his overall rating to 60% and his overall aesthetic rating to 75%, which is not a bad score, I think. So how does this affect the statistics? It makes independents the average overall hottest party affiliation, and Democrats the average aesthetic hotness party affiliation. This currently still makes Florida the hottest state aesthetically, and Florida and Vermont tied for overall hotness.
Okay. Those are some good statistics, Evan. Thank you.
I'm not going to do the statistics every week. Maybe just once every 5 weeks.
Once every 5 weeks. I like the statistics. I'm not even joking. It gives us a useful breakdown of his comparative attractiveness to move into the all-important section, which is, what does Matthew think of United States Senator John Thune, RSD? I'm staring at a picture. He's staring into my soul, actually. It's one of those pictures where his eyes follow you around. You may hear my voice getting louder and quieter because he's following me around the room. I mean, I get it. Conventionally attractive, yes, for an old man. But you've yet to present me with anyone, Evan, that I am intensely sexually attracted to.
I would just have to keep trying.
You'll have to keep trying, and that is the idea. So, I guess that brings us to the end of this segment, and we can officially reveal that.
I think hot.
And I think not. Hello and welcome back to the main section of the podcast. We're back to the podcast outside the podcast within a podcast. That's the podcast. Words Without Wisdom, your favourite podcast. And as this is Words Without Wisdom, we always, as usual, answer the questions that we receive from our inbox or in our inbox. So we're going to take a look in there and see what questions we have in there this week. We do have one email. It's from avid listener and fan of the show, Ron.
I'm just going to say he says a lot of nonsense.
A lot of nonsense and a lot of things we don't. So if we read out an email, by the way, on the podcast, it doesn't mean we condone or agree with anything that's said in the email.
No, in fact, I very strongly condemn what is said in this.
Okay, well, I've not read this, so I'm going to read this out live to you now. So, hello, fellas. Just finished listening to the newest 2 episodes. Tremendous if you'd respond to mention me on the show. Sorry for being so late. Turns out my let's skip that. And heard what I said about her and able to talk a huge lump sum of my pipe cleaning business money, and I couldn't afford the web for a week. Anyway, I'd like to start by saying I hated the last Dalek episode. I had enough trouble keeping my successful pipe business afloat and keep up the image that I can sexually please my wife to my co-workers for a decade, but now I have to worry about these damn copper pipe cleaning monstrosities coming up the stairs at night. I mean, I was already scared to death of hotels with elevators, but now I have to sleep in a tent with special anti-Dalek protection foil. This has no relation to my monetary situation or recent medication. Also, fuck that Old Town Road guy, he's Dominic. Sincerely, Ron Macaroni.
Thank you, Ron.
A frankly baffling email, which we can respond to in order. So we're very glad you're happy we mentioned you on the show. As we said, we mention all emails on the show. All emails that are sent to us actually at the email wordswithoutwisdom@gmail.com. No O in the wisdom. wordswithoutwisdm@gmail.com. Make sure to give us an email if you have any thoughts on the topics discussed in this episode. So yeah, we're glad you mentioned on the show. I don't care about your ex-wife, to be honest. And you hate Dalek for purely fear of Dalek reasons, which I don't think you have to worry about that. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie to you. But you did bring up an interesting point somehow. Did we talk about this last week or something? Because the Old Town Road guy, LilNas, did we discuss him last week? I don't think we did. We
discussed it in person.
We did, yeah. Because this week he has been under a lot of fire from whack jobs. Like Ron here, because he has a new music video. I don't listen to the genre of music which he produces, so I don't know too much about it, the video itself, but I do know that he was attacked for his like Satan shoes or something, and I believe something he was like in the video he was anally penetrated by Satan or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty metal if I do say so. I mean, Satan presumably quite a big dick, so if you can take that, good on you.
But this is the thing. But this is like old right wing men equating this
like
with
the ones
him
you
being
are
gay.
Drastically attracted to.
Pretty much, but like old right wing men, or I suppose women too, are just equating this with him being gay and equating this as being part of the like
gay is
satanic
Satanism
homosexual agenda.
Gay and black, which doesn't help. Doesn't help his case with that crowd.
But this would be weird if he was straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like if he was getting anally penetrated by a woman Satan. By a lady Satan. Pegged by a lady Satan.
I don't
also
personally think
the
it's...
title of my new metal album.
I don't personally think it's weird. I mean, I'm not bothered by it. Like, I'm
not bothered by it. I just, it's just a bit...
Oh, yeah, some people are just a bit more uncomfortable with... I don't know, you uncomfortable with sexual things in the public image? I don't know.
No, of course not. It's just...
No, just, yeah, you just... I don't have a problem with it. I'm not bothered by it. It's just he's been the target of this harassment and this hate purely because he's A, black and B, gay, which is, really great targets for the crowd that you're so in love with.
And, it's not because there's anything inherently immoral about the music video. It's just a weird music video.
Well, presumably there would be something immoral about it if you're a Christian, but in the real world where we don't believe in crap.
Is there such a thing as inherent morality?
Well, in Christianity, yes, because morality is dealt from God, but in the real world, no.
Yeah.
Morality is a subjective construct, subjective to each individual person. That's why you have a moral compass. If morality was absolute, there would be no discussion of the moral compass.
I have a moral compass.
No, that's what I'm saying. The moral compass exists because it's within.
No, I'm just saying because you're like a Satanist.
Oh, I'm a Satanist and a murderer.
I was jokingly accusing you of being a Satanist, but I didn't do it very well.
No, I am a Satanist. Yes.
Execution 0 out of 10.
And bisexual, so that really tips me on the Satan. I want to acknowledge before we move on from this email, and before we discuss something else about Christians, that this email was sent to us on March 29th, 2021, which was your 18th birthday. So
it was.
Happy birthday from everyone here at the Words Without Wisdom podcast, which is just me and you. So the whole team, let's do that again. Let's pretend we have a whole team.
The graphics.
So happy birthday from everyone. Happy birthday from everyone here at the Words Without Wisdom podcast. That's from me, obviously, to our graphic designer, me, to our inbox manager, me and you, to our editor, me, to our music producer, Kevin MacLeod. I'm sure he wishes you a happy birthday.
Thank you, Kevin.
But yeah, so mentioning Christianity, this episode is going out on the 4th of April, which is this year Easter Sunday. So you got all your Easter eggs?
No, actually, specifically didn't ask. I mean, I'm 18 anyway, so I can't imagine I was going to get many Easter eggs. But
I mean, Easter eggs are kind of a they're primarily a kid thing, but also any free chocolate that I could receive is beneficial to me. So I'll have any free chocolate.
But I specifically asked for them because I just know that I would have eaten them in a day and then hated myself and
no. Well, that's unfortunate.
Way to uproot my horrible body image issues, Matthew.
Whoa, that was not on purpose or my fault in any way, shape, or form. What do you think? Fine. The Easter Bunny of the three main deities, that is Santa, the Easter Bunny, and
the Tooth Fairy.
The Tooth Fairy, that's the one. Which is how does the Easter Bunny rank?
What, in hot or not?
No, not in hot or not. We're not judging the relative attractiveness of. No, I mean just as Santa the Easter Bunny. Personally, I think the Easter Bunny is the worst of all those three because he's just nothing, or it's just nothing.
The Easter Bunny was never a thing when I was a kid. Like the Tooth Fairy was a thing and Santa was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got money under my pillow when a tooth fell out, and I got presents, quote unquote, from Santa. I apologise if there are any children listening because the Tooth Fairy, Santa, the Easter Bunny are all real.
No, they're not. Let's just. Okay. We're not being nice here. We're destroying children's dreams. They're not real. I don't know
why I adopted an affirmation approach. You clearly.
No. I would never. If I ever have any children, which is highly unlikely, because I hate children, I will be like, to see all that crap. Tell every single one of your friends. Tell them, Daddy told me Santa Claus not real. Because
that too,
I'm
just
not
to be a
having
dick.
this. I'm not having this crap. Oh, it's not. It's not being a dick. It's being
No,
real.
that's true. Actually,
I'm not having any child of mine believing in some hogwash about
then the
Santa
then the children
Claus.
just get like, you know,
They don't develop an appreciation of money.
They don't appreciate the. They don't appreciate that. You know, it's their family buying them all the presents.
They lose their appreciation
That's
for
why,
you as a parent.
Like, you know, I always only had one Santa present,
One Santa
which I
present.
think was my parents' attempt at teaching me the value of money. That like, oh no, everyone else got me everything else, but I only ever had one Santa present.
Oh no, I'm from a ridiculously privileged.
Yeah, so no Santa. What you were asking us to rank them? You were asking me to rank them.
Yeah, sorry. No, so Easter Bunny at the bottom because the Easter Bunny. Nothing. Literally nothing. It's a bunny. What? He's not on, like, it's not relevant to anything. The Tooth Fairy. What do you think of the Tooth Fairy? Tooth Fairy versus Santa then.
Just now that you brought it up, how does she sustain a business model? Because all she does is like.
All she does is give out money. So where does the money? Where does the money come from?
Yeah,
that is so the title. Oh, that's so the title of this episode. How does the Tooth Fairy sustain our business model? That is such a good title. Oh, I love that. Yeah, but how does the Tooth Fairy sustain her business? Because she's always where's her income coming from? You know, there's a lot of expenditure there and not a lot of income.
Yeah,
I think she possibly has a sort of black market dealer for the teeth.
I was thinking
possibly trading in human body parts, some sort of dodgy, or possibly sells them on to dentists, and the dentists, when they put in dentures, it's actually real teeth attached to a plastic thing.
That would be a big cover-up.
They take the teeth of children.
Could you imagine that if there was like a massive sort of like report
conspiracy
that dentures are actually not false, they're actually made of baby teeth.
They're made of stolen baby teeth. There's a sort of, when you turn 18 or when you become a parent, that you get invited to an initiation ceremony where they teach you how to covertly steal your children's teeth and give them to the nearest dentist authority.
That would be. Oh no, I'm thinking that the Tooth Fairy would be complicit in this.
So the Tooth Fairy is real in this cover-up?
Exists in this reality, yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you mean this reality? This is clearly real. I don't see what you're talking. This actually happens in our reality. I thought we were going on that assumption.
Santa's fake, but the Tooth Fairy's
okay,
real, obviously.
And she takes your teeth and gives them to dentists.
Yeah,
those are the true facts.
This is common knowledge.
This is what happens. This is what you find out on the Words Without Wisdom podcast when we ask the questions
I know
you didn't know you wanted to know the answer to, such as how does the Tooth Fairy?
Tooth Fairy conspiracies.
Like the Alex Jones of Tooth Fairy conspiracies. Yeah, I'm just going to repeat everything you say now, like this is midnight, and just pretend that I've come up with it.
Pretend that I've come up with it.
Pretend that I've come up with it.
I just flipped the switch.
I just flipped the switch. What? What's that from?
I don't know. I want to say it's a TikTok sound, but that may not even be the lyric. I just flipped the switch.
Did you just say a TikTok town?
A sound.
Oh, okay.
It's one of these rappers.
We've mentioned midnight, so actually, speaking of Doctor Who.
Oh, of course.
It may be time for our final segment, ranking Doctor Who episodes on our quest to find, or to answer the question, what is the best Doctor Who episode of all time? So this week's, the first episode of this week's ranking Doctor Who episodes in our quest is The Empty Child, the first episode of an excellent two-parter, possibly, one of the best of series 1, or maybe the best of series 1. Would you say the best? Well, we'll get onto that with the finale, but I mean, The Empty Child, tense, horrific, scary, enjoyable, Captain Jack. What's not to love?
The gas mask kids.
Well, they're scary. I mean, "Are You My Mummy?" It's now an iconic saying within the even to be self-referenced in the show.
Exactly.
Even my mother knows that, and she can't remember.
Than what's
she couldn't remember what happened in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets earlier. So, it's well known. It's iconic. It's The Empty Child, and it goes in amazing, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you say the second part would go in amazing and that would go in
no,
good?
I wouldn't. I
Are you saying you don't
get
even...
that you appreciate it. I get what you're saying, but I would only give it as high as a good.
You'd only give it as high as a good. Okay, I'm willing to
Yes.
compromise on a good for The Empty Child.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to compromise on a good on The Doctor Dances, which is definitely an amazing episode. Come on. Everybody lives. Just this once, Rose. Everybody lives. What an iconic line. What a brilliant line.
It just doesn't stick out in my memory.
Really?
It's
iconic.
No,
Captain Jack's sacrifice. He has his own mini arc within this two-parter. I'm overruling you. I'm putting it in amazing.
Is it attention?
I don't care.
Well, that's fine because you compromised, so you can put it in amazing.
Excellent.
Plus, I'm willing to concede that second parts are usually better. Because it's it's the climax.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, in later seasons, I think a lot of the first parts are better because they set up good ideas and then fail to pay them off properly in the second part. But we'll get to those. We've only got another 52 weeks of this to go, or whatever it is.
Next up is Boomtown,
which I think is a great episode.
The better than the.
Oh
first
yeah, no,
Slitheen.
the definite peak of the Slitheen arc, because a lot of people rag on it for being too lighthearted, or just it's just like the in-between point between that great two-parter and then the finale. But I think it serves as a good little breather, and I think all the characters are great.
A good bridge.
Yeah, a good bridge. All the characters are great.
I would agree.
There's great character stuff. Mickey's great in it, actually. It's one of the few episodes he's kind of quite good in.
Memorable.
With a great sort of this whole thing with Rose about she was gone, what's he supposed to do, just wait around,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Mickey.
I do like Mickey. I think he's done quite dirty.
Nicholas
Cage.
So yeah, what's your verdict for Boomtown? Boomtown.
Boomtown, I would give a good. I would give a
also
good
give a good
to
I wouldn't say
Boomtown. That's not amazing. It's just a good, solid, fun episode that bridges and gives a nice breather between this and the finale. And I think, just to speed things along, this week we will finish the finale because we're there. Series 1 finale, Episode 1, Bad Wolf. Definitely a great episode. I'd put it in. I'd put it in amazing.
I actually agreed because you have the weakest link.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff.
Just that whole parody of the weakest link. You have that whole monologue about all the different game shows and how dystopian they are. It's amazing. It's such good
characters, great cliffhanger.
Such great early noughties pop culture references.
Oh, we love those. And of course, then that cliffhanger leads on to one of the most fantastic season finales, the parting of the ways, with the Doctor, threatening to blow up the Daleks and kill kill the entire human race just to kill the Daleks, and the conclusion of his arc from Dalek to parting of the ways. We have, Dalek emperors. We have we have Rose being a god, which is kind of, but it works as a conclusion. We get immortal Captain Jack at the beginning, and he'll come back eventually.
It's such a seminal moment in the entire series.
And I'd put it in the greatest, up there with Dalek, but we can debate on that. What do you think?
I maybe wouldn't give it greatest status up there with Dalek, but definitely amazing.
Definitely amazing. Okay, I'll put it in amazing for now. But if we feel that it can go up, then we'll put it up. And that is season 1 of Doctor Who done already. Isn't this